Hello everyone! We've covered the story in each available zone for Warlords of Draenor, but there's a little bit more story to cover, given to us with the Garrison campaigns. This story begins once you reach level 100, and it's a mix of a couple of individual storylines combined with a major storyline leading into the next zone. I'll start off with the small ones, and then we'll talk about that major storyline, so let's just begin and see how far we can go, shall we? First up, we have the Goblins and the Iron Horde causing trouble at Darktide Roost in Shadowmoon Valley. They're experimenting on the Rylaks, they're trying to mind control them, and this will give the Iron Horde a great advantage since they will be able to fight from the sky. A lot of you have asked me how and where so many goblins came from that we see in the Iron Horde, and I don't believe that Blizzard has given a solid reason for it. We know that these goblins, they work for the Blackfuse company, and this company was started by Siegecrafter Blackfuse, the same goblin we took out during the siege of Orgrimmar. At the end of the fight, he already told us that his legacy would live on, and we see that here on Draenor. Not only are these goblins still working for Garrosh and the Iron Horde, Garrosh, he actually took Blackfuse designs like the Iron Stars for example, and this has given the Iron Horde a great boost in technology and a great advantage for their time. Now as to how these goblins came to Draenor, I believe that's still uncertain. We know that they didn't join Garrosh right away as he made his escape, so they either went through the Dark Portal as it turned red, or they made a portal of their own later on. That's not really explained, but considering that portals are popping up all over the place, you can give a spin to that. Regardless as to how they got here we see them causing trouble and they're messing with the local wildlife. They already pissed off Rexxar in Gorgrond by attacking Nisha, so once again, he shows up to help us with our mission and to help out the Rylaks. We kill some goblins, we destroy and sabotage shredders, we take out the leaders, and we liberate a few of the Rylaks. With all that done, we have nothing left to do but to liberate the Darktide Matriarch, and afterwards, Rexxar, he gains the mighty beast their trust, and he flies away. Until we meet again, Rexxar, I really hope that they'll use you again in another questline. Another goblin group that's operating in Draenor is called the Steamweedle Preservation Society, and they need our help. Nixie comes to the Garrison with the news that one of their best preservationists has gone missing in their grant, so we're asked to investigate and help them out. Once we arrive, we find the goblin hanging around in a tree since the ogres and the Ogrond, they shot him out of the sky. So in exchange, we kill some ogres and Ogrons, we collect some of the artifacts, and we increase our reputation with the society. Similar to the goblins of the Blackfuse company, these goblins, they also made their way to Draenor from our reality. There are no native goblins on Draenor. They're trying to enter the archaeology business since they figure that if people like Harrison Jones or Bran Bronzebeard for example, if they can pull it off, surely these goblins can too, and naturally, in the process, they'll make a big profit. Those that question in their grant, you've probably seen the enormous Titan artifact that the goblins found, so they have been successful with their preservation of artifacts. I thought it was quite interesting to see all these Titanic influences on Draenor, and I wonder what the goblins might find in the future. The next Garrison campaign, as the other ones I just discussed, they play out similar for both the Alliance and the Horde, but the introduction is a little bit different. On the Horde side, we're sent out to help Gaslow, since the reports indicate that the Horde has some kind of war machine going on, and naturally, we need to stop it. We already prevented the Iron Horde from taking Frostfire Ridge as we leveled up, but apparently, they haven't given up yet. They've got a massive drill trying to remove the blockage into the path, so Gaslow, he goes to work as we keep the Iron Horde away. Once he's done destroying the device, he notices that the drill, it was a work of beauty. This is of such a high quality that it seems unlikely that it was created by the Iron Horde, so he wants to investigate the Iron Siegeworks to find out who made it. Now on the Alliance side, naturally we don't have this blockage in Frostfire Ridge. No, we're attacked by the Iron Horde, only some way, somehow, they got their hands on the Dark Iron Mole machines. None of our Dark Iron Dwarves, as far as we know, would willingly work for the Iron Horde, so something probably happened to Talon. We're sent to investigate Talon's secret workshop in Gorgrond, and there we find Hansel Heavyhands. He's tied up, while Talon is nowhere to be found. Talon was kidnapped by the Iron Horde. They kept Hansel alive to make sure that Talon did his job, and it was he who created the device that was tunneling into Frostfire Ridge. He upgraded the Iron Horde's technology, and he was making these devices. Thankfully for us, Talon has a Come to Papa device on him, which will allow any of his creations to find their master, so we use it and make our way to the Iron Siegeworks. There we find Talon, we send the mole machines they stole back home, we place a couple of mines, and we even get Talon's notebook back from Overlord Blackhammer. Talon, he will have to find a new secret location for his workshop, and hopefully he won't be kidnapped again. As the reward, both the Alliance and the Horde, they received their personal maul machine, and this campaign, it didn't offer a lot lore-wise. One of the things you can take out of it is that Gaslow, he's capable of looking beyond faction, but that's nothing new, we already knew that. I do wonder what happened to some of the data-mined conversations that were going on during the beta. Back then, we found conversations between Ural and Marat, for example, in which Marat, he had some sort of love interest with Ural, he invited her to come to our reality, but that's been cut out with a reason. There was some feedback from the community, they didn't like another love story like that, so Blizzard listened to the response and they cut it out. Now another storyline was with Hansel and Talon, in which they were like the comedians of the group. Hansel was trying to find his wife, which was kidnapped by the Iron Horde that moved into Blackrock Mountain. There was a whole different storyline going on, but I haven't seen any of this. I wonder if they also received feedback on this storyline, if they planned to do more and they simply ran out of time, or perhaps it was simply just cut out the storyline. Who knows what they might have done. What I do know is that these conversations just didn't show up. Next up, we're sent into Frostfire Ridge, because either Shadowhunter Bouja, if you're Horde, or SI7 agent Owen Gradok have gone missing. The storyline is the same for both factions, with the difference being what NPC you quest with. Once we arrive, we find out that, in this case on the Alliance side, Agent Gradok has been captured by the ogres, and he's severely beaten. Bandages cover his body from head to toe, so we quickly get the key from Nob the Torturer, and we get Gradok's gear. Once liberated, Gradok informs us that the ogres, they found an incredibly powerful artifact called the Soul Grinder, and this artifact will increase someone's power dramatically, but it does require souls to operate. The ogres have been using the souls of their slaves to power the device, but they didn't find the artifact by accident. As we try to locate Borgal Doomfist, the leader and the one who holds the artifact, we come across a group of dead Iron Horde orcs. This envoy was sent by Garrosh, and thankfully their journal describes what happened. We have arrived at the Bloodmaul camp. Their chief Borgal refused to talk with me unless I promised to buy a few cartloads of slaves. The charge was of course way higher than I should have paid, but I need their goodwill on this mission. Borgal has agreed at a ridiculous price to have his slaves mine into the sites we have indicated and turn over to us anything that may be found. Even though the prophet Garrosh says that an artifact lies buried under this mountain, I question the wisdom of employing the Bloodmaul to find it. Orders are orders, nonetheless. The next pages, they describe how eventually the ogres found the artifact, but they refused to hand it over, and the orcs tried to force them to comply. The result of that is clear, the dead bodies lie on the cold floor, but it's interesting to see that Garrosh, he somehow knew about this artifact, and the orcs have named him Prophet. It's not surprising, since Garrosh can predict the future of course, but it is nice to get a look at how the orcs actually saw this strange orc from not only the future, but also a different reality. So now we know how the ogres got the artifact, and we try to stop Borgal as he's stealing the souls from his slaves. Unwittingly, their souls are absorbed by the device, empowering the ogre and creating a portal into the spirit realm. Borgal makes his escape, and he tells his guard Grubnor to keep an eye on the portal and make sure that nobody gets in. Naturally, we take out this little guard, and inside the spirit realm, we're greeted by an orcish spirit named Orlane Strongbrow. She was one of the spirits who fell victim to Borgal, and she wants revenge. She tells us to cleanse some spirits and collect totems, and the totems will allow her to summon Borgal and force him to face us. We do as we're told, the totems are placed, and Borgal Doomfist, chieftain of the Bloodmaul, appears. He quickly casts away the little spirit, he binds Gradok so he's unable to help us, and we're forced to fight the ogre one-on-one. Even by ourselves, we have plenty of power to take him on, and the Soul Grinder is ours. We're going to stay in Frostfire Ridge for the next campaign, and this one is Horde only, similar to how the one with Ural is Alliance only. Drekvar, he was captured by the Iron Horde, and we liberated him as we made our escape through the Tanaan jungle. His interactions with the warlocks have scarred him, and the spirits, the elements, they're quiet. Together with Draka, Drekvar has traveled to Farseer's Rock to rebuild his connection with the elements, and Thrall senses that the spirits of the land, they're becoming restless. Something is about to happen, and he asked of us to help.
Spirits of the wind, heed my call. We have need of your wisdom.
Drekvar has already begun his ritual, and this will draw the attention of the Goran, since they're drawn to elemental magic like flies to a corpse. It's up to us to keep the Farseer safe as he completes his ritual.
Watch out!
Spirits of the water, I seek your guidance. Spirits of the earth, I seek your strength. I hear the voice of a fury.
Hear it faster! We are getting swarmed down here!
Spirits of fire, I seek ferocity! Oh!
Drekthar! Cover me!
We take out groups of Goron, but that was just the start. A massive flaming Goron enters the fight, and we're forced to take him out by ourselves.
Hold, friend. This is not our enemy. Come, child. Find safe refuge in my totem. Be cautious. I came to ask the elements for aid in the coming battle. But among the burning, biting winds of the mountains, I heard the cry of the Fury, Exarch. Beaten, half consumed, and shattered by ancient magics, the Fury is the prisoner of a Magnaron named Kron. The Fury has been fragmented, its pieces scattered on the wind or consumed by scavengers. We are the only ones close enough to collect these pieces and unleash the Fury.
Drekthar came here to find guidance, to get a stronger bond with the elements again, but it turns out that the Primal Fury needs his help. We're sent to collect motes of the Fury in case they can be used to restore him, and we rescue Flamrock and Kindler, who are the children of Exarch.
Spirits walk with you. Help me up. We should...
Stay down, Shaman. Catch your breath. This champion can forge ahead, and we will catch up when you are ready.
Once again, we're left on our own. A commander's work is never done. We complete the task given to us, and we make our way to the top of the mountain, where a mighty Magnaron called Kron is keeping Exarch prisoner. Drekthar will try to liberate the Fury from his magical bonds, magic predating the existence of the orcs, and this will surely draw the attention of Kron. With boons granted to us by the Fury itself, we get the power to bring down the Kron, but we're too late. There's already so much damage done that liberating the Fury would only give him a peaceful death.
The Fury is dying. We don't have much time. Loktar, Commander. There might be something. Exarch, I offer my spirit as host to your own. Join with me, so that your fire may not be quenched. My spirit burns!
Drekthar, what has it done to you?
He has become one with the Fury. Their spirits are now merged. I can see the shift of the elements, the movement of the spirits through the land. It is glorious.
The Fury actually merged with Drekvar's spirit, and now the blind orc can once again see. He can see the shift of the elements and the movement of the spirits. I'm very happy that I leveled up a Horde character to 100 just to see this quest, since it gives another piece of the puzzle for Draenor's origin. In Gorgrond we found out that there are relics from the Titans that give control over the Magnaron and their lower evolutions. From this, I think it's reasonable to say that the Magnaron and all these creatures, they were created by the Titans to help shape Draenor, similar to how they created giants and Azeroth for the same job. Here we have Draka, who says that Goron are abominations and they were created to eat the world, and they're also drawn to elemental powers. During the fight with Kron, he says that this is the way of things, so what does it all mean? Were these creatures created not only to shape the land, but also fight the elements? Are they part of bringing balance to the elements, or are they simply no longer following the plans of the Titans? Why did Kron capture this Prime Fury in the first place? What are they trying to do here? There are still so many questions left unanswered when it comes to the Titans and Draenor. Hopefully we'll get more details and get a complete picture later on. That was the Horde's unique campaign. Now, like I mentioned, the Alliance got a unique campaign to help Ural with becoming an Exarch. The Exarchs on Draenor, they are the leaders of the Draenei, and they answered only to Prophet Velen. But through questing during Shadowmoon Valley, not only did Velen sacrifice himself, we also find out that one of the Exarchs, in this case Otar, he switched sides and he teamed up with the Legion. He had another Exarch killed, Exarch Hatharu, and he tried to kill Exarch Maladar by giving him up to the Iron Horde. We rescued Maladar together with Drekvar in the Tanaan jungle, and we expose Otar for the betrayer that he is. In that confrontation, Otar, he transformed, he took on a new body, he took on a new name, Sokravar, but unfortunately we were unable to stop him in that moment. We'll talk more about Sokravar later on. The point is that the Council of Exarchs, they could use some new recruits, and we get to help Ural with getting in that position.
Please become an Exarch. I must first pass through a series of trials. I am allowed one champion to accompany me along this journey. I would like that person to be you, hero. I am ready. Come, the Exarch Council awaits.
3 trials are given to Ural in order for her to become an Exarch. She's sent to Nagrand to help clear the corruption in the Cerulean Lagoon, which is caused by a creature called Plague Bloom.
There! That creature must be the cause of the poisonous mist.
We take out the creature, only to fight against the primal fury Everburn in the cold of Frostfire Ridge.
Well done, champion. Akama's task is finished. I cannot wait to see his face when we report on our success.
No trial would be complete without a holy pilgrimage to the Draenei's sacred burial ground called Akundun.
Ah, welcome, Vindicator Yril. I see you have come for Maladar's trial. The spirits sense your purpose. They already grow eager to challenge you.
It is my honor to face the heroes of the ancient past. They will not find me lacking.
Good luck, Lady Yril.
Inside Akundun, Ural is tested by the Guardians and even the spirit of Hatharu, the Exarch that was murdered by Otar.
Yril, this is how I always wished to see you. Do not let me down.
Greetings, teacher. Let me show you what I have learned in my travels.
You have exceeded all my hopes, Yril. You may proceed.
Ural's test is not the only reason why we're here. Marad, he gave up his life in the battle against Blackhand in Talador. He was able to keep Ural safe, and now it's time to place his ashes amongst his people.
Now, to lay Marad's ashes to rest.
Yril, how you have grown since last we met. But is it enough? Are you worthy of leading our people? Now it is my turn to test your strength. When you face a more powerful foe, will you stand strong?
Do not fear, for I will stand.
When all hope is lost, will you still fight?
I shall never yield!
When you look inside yourself and see only darkness, can you still find the light?
I can!
What was that?
Because in this world, we are never alone! Hero, use the hammer now!
Yril, it is true. The student has surpassed the teacher. You are ready. If only Prophet Velen could see you now, he would be proud. Rise, Yril. It is your charge to unite the Draenei. Prepare them for what's to come. Farewell.
Marad, my friend. Be at peace.
Even Marad has given Ural his blessing, but her trials are not over yet. One final trial remains, defeating the Exarchs themselves.
Never. One final trial awaits, Yril. Us. You have chosen your champion. Now, let us begin!
3 against 2, and still Ural's devotion to the light, combined with our experience and power, manages to overtake the council and complete Ural's trials.
The dead
There is no turning back now. You have completed the trials of the Exarch. You have proven courage, kindness, faith, and strength, pillars upon which our society has arisen. However, we measure a leader not only by her merit, but also by the character of her companions. Champion, we have watched you throughout this trial. We saw your bravery in Frostfire, your persistence in Nagrand, and your loyalty in Akindun. Your dedication to Lady Yerl proves to us that she is worthy. We did not choose the next Exarch. You did. Yerl, do not forget that an exceptional leader inspires greatness in others. Trust in your people and trust in yourself. Now, rise! Exarch Yerl!
A lot of people were wondering when we did the questline during Shadowmoon Valley, there's the cinematic where Velen gives Yerl his symbol, and some suggested that this meant that Velen made Yerl the leader of the Draenor. But in my opinion, this campaign shows us that that was not the case. If Yerl was truly the leader of the Draenor, then she wouldn't have to go through the trouble of becoming an Exarch, so I really don't think it had any meaning, and it was just used to look cool, a way for Velen to say goodbye. Regardless of the reason, Yerl is placed in a position of power. She has proven herself and she's gained a massive health buff in the process. We're not done yet with the Draenor though. The storyline that began in Shadowmoon Valley for the Alliance, Othar turning to the dark side and becoming Sukhrafar, it continued in not one, but two of the Garrison campaigns, which play out the same way for both the Alliance and the Hordes. First, we're sent by Khadgar's servant to Sukhrafar's Rise to talk with Archmage Mordora, member of the Kirin Tor and the Council of Six. Sukhrafar, he's been busy recruiting more followers, but we already have a man on the inside, so we're going to do our best to stop them while also gaining their trust. A disguise is taken from the defeated Sargerei, and Anchorite Landa, the man on the inside, he sends us to destroy Fellstorm crystals, destroy Demonic Gateway, and read some of Sukhafar's literature. For those unaware, the very short history of the Draenor is that once upon a time, Sargeras, he offered them to join his legion, which Archimonde and Kil'jaeden, two of the three leaders, they gladly accepted. Velen, he received a vision from the Naru, which showed him that joining Sargeras it was a very bad idea, so he took as many as he could, he fled the planets, and eventually they ended up on Draenor. I wondered why the Draenor, who've been running away from the Legion for millennia, suddenly decided to say, you know what, joining this Legion might actually be a good idea. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but one of Sukhafar's books, it gives a little bit more information. The book says the following: he and his followers fled from that world, forever hunted by those who once offered their hand in friendship. Velen was a fool, and we are descendant from those fools who would turn their back on paradise. So Sukhrafar, and I assume most who joined them, they are not the original Draenor that fled their homeplanet of Argus, they are descendant from them, which makes it a little bit more reasonable. They never made a choice about joining the Legion or not, and to them it seems like a far better option than how they're currently living. They'd rather join the Legion, get immortality, get incredible powers, instead of having to run away from the Legion from planet to planet, having to hide away from the Iron Horde, having not to fulfill their full potential, and for some, that offer is just too tempting to resist. After finding this information, after earning their trust and closing the Demonic Gateway, we return to Landa only to find a quickly written note. They've discovered Landa, they found out that he was a spy, and he's brought in front of Sukhrafar himself. Sukhrafar orders Soulbinder Zamaya to kill Landa on the spot, which she does with pleasure, and we kill Zamaya in return, since she holds Sukhafar's plans of attack. These plans tell us that the city of Shattrath is Sukhafar's target. We inform Khadgar about this, and together with either Leia Liadrin or Exarch Maladar, we take the battle to Sukhrafar. They've been unable to get him out of hiding, but killing enough of his troops and collecting their medallions would surely provoke him. We get the job of taking out these members and collecting the medallions. The three of us, we step in front of the city, we challenge Sukhrafar, and Sukhrafar comes out of hiding. The three of us take on the mighty Sukhrafar, and we actually bring him down. We end this threat, and we stop him from recruiting more Draenor to the cause. Interesting to note is that even in our reality, you can still find Sukhrafar in Outland, so Othar in both realities casualties ended up as Sokravar. As we turn in the quest, Liadrin says that today we defeated one of Gul'dan's strongest allies and that the Akanai will soon be able to reclaim their city. Exarch Maladar says that a call is coming. He feels it large and looming just beyond the horizon. When the time comes, the Draenor must answer. That time might be sooner than later, since this brings us to the biggest storyline during the Garrison campaigns, and it's spread over 5 different campaigns. Shadowhunter Zesta, if you're Horde, or Janine Amrel, if you're Alliance, have been going undercover in the Grand, and they found out that the Warlords are getting together at Mok Gul Watchposts. This could be a great opportunity for us to gain more intel, but at the camp we find out that, in this case I'm doing it from the Alliance side, Janine has been tortured by the Iron Horde and she's been killed. The one behind it all has set a trap, she was waiting for us, and Azuka Blade Fury captures us.
Well. Look who's walked right into our trap. You will be my gift to Warchief Hellscream.
What of you, Blackhand?
Alliance and Horde forces strike at the Foundry, but they are nothing I cannot handle.
Again, Blackhand? All I hear are excuses. Azuka, how goes the search for the Alpha?
Well, Warchief, we need only the heart of Gorgorek to give it life.
Good. I will have you deal with the other Welders as well. Or do you lack the bloodlust of your forefathers?
My blade skills surpass those of my sires, Warchief. I can clean up Blackhand's mess.
I will slice off your tongue for that!
Bold words from my newest warlord. Very well. Carry forth your ancestral blade. Bathe it in the blood of our enemies. Show me its legendary power. Come, you have your orders. I ride for Tanan.
We were the ones who actually placed Azuka Blade Fury in her position of power within the Burning Blade clan, and it seems like she's ambitious and willing to do whatever it takes to earn her spot within the Iron Horde. Thankfully for us, the Warlords are dumb enough to talk about their plans in front of us, and Flint Shadowmoor comes out of the shadows to set us free. The name of the game is gathering intel, while also disturbing their plans, so we take out Pack Leader Vorgash, we collect mission orders, and we check out some key items that Janine found interesting. One of them is important. One of them is a miniature model of a Magneron called Gorgorek. This is the alpha creature the Warlords were talking about, and you might have seen a glimpse of it with its hand sticking out of the ground in Gorgrond. The Warlords, they're planning to awaken this creature, and all they need is the heart of Gorgorek. We'll have to keep an eye on the Iron Horde to make sure that they won't succeed. The next campaign has us fighting in the Ring of Blood for glory and honor, but nothing really important happens. We prove our worth by killing ogres, we kill the first challenger Katsuo of the Burning Blade clan, and then we kick the crap out of Azuka Blade Fury herself. Right now, Azuka can't even take us out, but she does share a little secret about her weapon. The more blood it tastes, the more power it gains, so Azuka says that someday our blood will coat its edge. It's only a matter of time. With all our reinforcements coming in from Azeroth, it's unsurprising that we also get druids to help us out. These druids have kept an eye on the Iron Horde, and they've got reason to believe that the Iron Horde is pursuing a valuable artifact in the deserts of Gorgrond. We're sent in to help out, of course, and our first mission is to disrupt an Iron Horde camp by stealing their supplies and taking out their leader, Orok. As we do our busy work, we find orders given by Azuka Blade Fury herself, and she wants these orcs to not only secure the Magneron, she also wants them to retrieve the artifact from Crackplume Cauldron. With this intel in our hands, we quickly fly out to the cauldrons ourselves to try and get our hands on the artifacts before the orcs do. Inside, we find a chamber guarded by an abyssal Earth Warden, but where the orcs failed and died, we succeeded and we take the creature out. We've actually managed to secure the artifact artifact, but all around us, packs of Goron, they show up, ready to devour us whole. The druid who's with us can of course fly out of the cauldron, but we can't transform into a bird, so we'll have to take a little bit more of a difficult route. Thankfully, the druids did not abandon us. We safely make our escape, we secure the artifacts, and we make sure that Zuka and the Iron Horde won't get their hands on it. The artifact is hidden in our garrison. Surely our fortified, well-guarded garrison is the safest place to stash such a powerful artifact, right? Wrong. Oh, so very wrong. Azuka and her clan, they were not simply going to give up trying to get their hands on the artifacts. Assassins sneak into our garrison, and where they take out a simple grunt on the Horde side, on the Alliance side, it's a bit more tragic. Barris Alexton, the garrison architect for the Alliance, and Lieutenant Thorn, during their time on Draenor, they've developed feelings for each other, but they were either too scared or too busy to take any action. Finally, one day, Alexton, he had enough, and he asked of the commander to collect a rose from Azeroth, since this is Thorn's favorite flower. Thankfully, such a rose is growing in our herb garden, but as we bring her back to Alexton, we find out that assassins have infiltrated the garrison. Thankfully for us, Lieutenant Thorn was able to take care of them, but more members of the clan are dealing massive damage to the rest of the garrison. We go out, we try to clear the garrison, make it safe for the rest of the people, but this does give the opportunity for more assassins to sneak in. This time, Alexton was forced to jump in front of the blade to prevent it from striking Thorn's heart. She was able to rip the assassin's throat out, but it was too late. Alexton is dead on the floor, and Thorn holds up the rose as a tear rolls down her cheek. She'll now forevermore remain within a Worgen form with a broken heart, but our job isn't done yet. Azuka is still outside, and we can't let her get away.
Foolish little rodent! Once again, you are too late. The heart of Gorgorek is mine.
Once again, we kick the crap out of Azuka. She jumps on her mount and she flies off into the distance, firmly holding on to the artifacts. We fail to avenge Alexton, but this isn't over. The Iron Horde will pay. Which brings us to the final chapter in the Garrison campaigns. We've lost the artifacts and Azuka is busy awakening the Alpha Magneron, he who walked Draenor before the time of the Orcs. We're sent to Gorgrond to investigate, to try and stop her, but we get there too late. She manages to perform the ritual, the Magneron and the Grond, they're under her control now, and she leaves us with a little taste of their power. We deal with the Grond called Durk, while our Druid companions, they send word to the Garrison. It's time to take our army, our full might of the garrison, and we march to the gates of Tanaan in Talador. We are going to take on this mighty Magneron, and we arrive just in time to give them the final push that they need, and it seems like Azuka's plans, that the Iron Horde's plans, they're quickly crumbling around them. This beast that they spend so long on trying to awaken, it quickly falls to our might. There are choppers in the sky, Iron Horde is getting his ass kicked over the place. It doesn't look good for the Iron Hordes. Now with the Magneron out of the way, it's time to finally confront Azuka and take her out.
I grow tired of our games, little mouse. It's time to finish this!
During the fight, Azuka tries to absorb clan members into her blade to power the weapon. Like she said, the more it kills, the more powerful it becomes. So we prevent them from killing themselves and we kick the crap out of Azuka Blade Fury for all the trouble she's caused. This time, there's no escape.
No! No! Warchief! I have failed you.
At the gates of Tanaan, it's time to flex our muscles and have a little chat with the warchief of the Iron Horde.
Halt! Hellscream approaches! Give up, Grommash! Look around you! You are beaten!
The Iron Horde is never beaten! I will never surrender! I will remember this day, heroes. I will remember your names and your faces. And when the time comes, I will carve you limb from limb. If you dare challenge me, I will be waiting in Tanaan Jungle. You will find only death beyond these gates.
Very well, Grommash. Then we will come for you. Congratulations, hero. This victory is ours.
And that's where the storyline ends for now. The difference in the final campaign is in the NPCs that you see. On the Alliance side at the end you saw Ural with the Exarchs, while on the Horde you see Duratan, Gaslow, Liadrin and Rokan. You also get a follower as a reward, the Druid that's been helping you out all this time. So the Alliance, they get Tisili Crow, while the Horde gets Koluna. We also get to keep Azuka's blade, but unfortunately it's not meant for us. No matter how cool this weapon would be, a weapon that gets stronger the more you fight, this weapon is meant for one of our followers. All in all, I personally thought that the Garrison campaigns, they were a nice touch. It was a nice additional way to tell a little bit more of the storyline once you're done with all the leveling. Tanaan Jungle was planned to be part of the release. It was planned to be part of the original content, but they cut it out and they moved it to a later patch. So I wonder if they tried to do more with it, if there was still more story to tell. The end felt kinda silly to me. We stand there with the might of our Garrison, we have our army backing us up, we have Grommash Hellscream himself, and he's like, I'm not going to fight today, we're just gonna wait till the next patch, I'm gonna chill behind my gates, you guys go home, we'll see each other in like 6.2. I think it would have made more sense if in this moment something happened, maybe something with Kilrock Deadeye, like a little backup plan the Iron Horde had in place, and this pushed our armies back, and we have to do another Garrison campaign. I personally think that would have made more sense if we'd gone straight into Tanaan and kept more of the storyline, but I guess Blizzard did their best and they simply couldn't put it in. This does mean, however, that we've reached the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the Garrison campaigns, subscribe if you like my videos, and until next time guys, see ya!
Our bond is iron, our will unbreakable. Who will stand against us?